Melissa. In this video, we are going to go start to finish on your first project with your Xtool S1. So the Xtool S1 is different than the other enclosed lasers that I have and that you may have or may be considering from Xtool. So for one, the biggest difference is not only is it enclosed like the P2 that you can see over here and the M1 that I also have around the corner. However, the biggest difference is it does not have a camera, and you will never know how important a camera is or how helpful a camera is until you use a laser that has it and then you go to one that doesn't. So I'm going to show you how to use the S1 here without a camera so that you're making sure that you are able to hit your target when you are cutting, engraving, or scoring. So let's get started. I, again, would suggest, if you haven't already, I would highly suggest getting not only Air Assist, but also the Honeycomb Riser. They will both really significantly help you in getting the best results, eliminating charring and burning on your project, specifically your wood project. So first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to install. It's not really installing the honeycomb tray, but you do need to make sure that you have it in the right position, and we will go from there. All right, so when you put your honeycomb tray in, it is not going to fill the entire space of your base. So what you want to do is you want to push it all the way back and all the way to the right. You should have some slight little area here. Whoops, it looks like I cut my finger there. You will have a slight area in the front of it and also to the right. Now, if you are used to using another type of laser that has a camera, you likely do not have to manually adjust the position of your laser. But in this case, when you are using the S1, you will. So not only will you be able to pull the laser position to where you want it, you will also be able to slide it to where you want it. You can't, it's difficult to see right now, but there's a red kind of crosshair that is indicated from the laser that is coming down from the laser module. That same crosshair, although much, much smaller, will also be shown to you in Creative Space. So we're gonna hop over there and then we will get ready to do our first project, but I did want you to get just a little bit familiar with how this is going to work. So I'm gonna close this up and we will well, I'll just leave it for now. So let's hop over to the software. All right, so here we are in Creative Space. This is the software that you are going to use to send your designs to your laser. Now, if your laser is not already connected, as you can see, mine is showing it's connected up here, you will just want to make sure that you go to, let's see, this tool up here, no, switch device. If you have a different device that is showing, you'll just want to click that little gear icon there and click switch device and make sure that you have it as your device is listed. So if you're on Wi-Fi, check there. Neither of my lasers that are connected by Wi-Fi are powered on right now, so nothing's going to show. But this is how you're going to do this. And then what you're going to have is this. Now, again, because there is no camera view, there is no way to see what the laser is seeing itself. So instead, on the S1, you're going to have this little red icon. So that is actually the same as where your laser is. Now, if I move the laser on the module itself, you can see that in the software that crosshair also changed. All right, so for our first project, my suggestion is to just pick something very simple, one of the shapes that's built into Creative Space. So let's just pick something that we can not only cut, engrave, but also score. So I'm going to pick, let's see, we will pick from this little animals. Let's find something down here. All right, so we'll pick this butterfly. Okay, now, right now we have the butterfly, and what we want to do, I'm going to enlarge it so you can see, and then we'll deal with the rest of that later. So first thing that I would like to do is I'm going to set it to engrave. So any area that is blue is going to engrave. Now, I also want to show you what it's like to score. So what we're going to do, just as an example, is add an outline. All right, and that outline, as you can see, it added a line around, and I'm going to uncheck the inner line so that we don't get any inner lines. And we're going to set that line, just that outer line, not the butterfly itself, the outer line. It's kind of going to be difficult to get it to score. Okay, and then I'm going to do one more and I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to add one more outline and I'll make that a little bit further away so it's easier for us to pick. And I'll say, okay. And then that line I'm going to set to cut. Okay, so we have our design here. I'm going to select the entire thing and right click to group it together. This will just help so that our design moves in the software together. Okay, all right, now we want to position our design that we are going to process right basically in the middle of where our laser is showing. Okay, so you want to make sure that your material is covering above and below and to all sides of that. All right, once we've got that set, what we want to do is we want to deselect it so that we get these options over here. First thing that we're going to do, we're going to pick our material. In this case, I'm just using the piece of wood that came in the sample pack with the S1, so I'm going to select that. Next thing that I need to do is I need to actually put the wood piece into my laser, and I want to put it so that the laser beam is basically right in position. So you can see I've got a lot of areas on here that are already used, but I also have a lot of areas that I can still use. So I'm going to put this just like right here, and it will process right basically in the middle there. Then I'm going to close the laser, okay, and I'm going to click this little icon here next to distance. When I click distance, I want you to watch that height adjuster on the right side of the module and what it's going to do. It's going to move in two different positions. First, it's going to move close to where the crosshair was. Then it's going to go all the way to the right, and there's a small ledge there. That's what it's going to measure against. And then it's going to put the distance, as you can see right here in the software. Okay, we're not going to worry about auto planning right now. We're not going to worry about any of these other things right now because they're more advanced and this is just our first time. Now what I'm going to do is select my entire design, and I have it so it says output, and that's what we want. If you find that your design is nothing is happening, check here because you might actually have it on ignore. And if you have it on ignore, it means that the machine is going to ignore those lines. It's not going to cut, score, or engrave. All right, now while I have this all here, I'm actually going to ungroup it because I want to make sure that we have the right material set. So this is saying reference. Now, I have found specifically with the F1 or S1, and I'm not sure if it's because it's new, but it's supposed to be referencing the material that you selected. I find it's not 100%, so I am actually going to go in here and reselect it myself, which we had, what did we have? Wait a minute here. We've got 3M basswood. I just want to make sure. So I know that the cut should be about a 4. Yeah, so I'm going to put, I know that the cutting, just from experience, should be about 4 and the power of 100. So I'm actually going to change this to 3 millimeter. All right. And then this one, Engrave, you can leave that if you want. It's not even there. Okay. Then what we're going to do when we're all ready, we're going to click process. Well, first you can click framing. Framing is basically going to show you, watch what happens when I click framing. When I click framing, it's going to move the module in around the area that it is going to eventually process. So it's basically showing you, this is the area where I'm going to work. Is this right? And if it was going off of your material, then you would want to adjust the position. So click framing complete when you're done that. And then when you're ready, I want you to turn on your air assist to either auto or to one of the powers. I usually use the highest power, I usually use auto, and then you also want to turn on your filter, okay? I hesitate to turn on my filter too early in the videos because it's loud. All right, now I'm going to click process, and I have to click start on the software, and then I have to click the start button on the front of my laser. So this here, what it's doing first is this is the Engrave. Now you could set it to tell it which process you want to do first. Otherwise, it's going to automatically decide if it's going to engrave, score, or cut first. Typically, cutting would be last unless you tell it otherwise. You'll also be able to see in the software how long it's taking. Now, it doesn't give me an idea of how long it's going to take, but it does tell me, okay, so far it's taken a minute. Okay, that took 2 minutes and 52 seconds to engrave that. Now it is scoring. Scoring is basically drawing a single line. That took about 15 seconds. And now the last part, it is going to come back around and cut. And as you can see, this is the slowest process, and this is also the process that creates the most amount of smoke. So again, this is where it's really, really important. If you want to get the absolute best result, limited charring, to use both Air Assist and the Honeycomb Tray. That will help you to have airflow from both the top and the bottom. And my guess is, we are at 3:36. My guess is this is going to take close to 4 minutes to do this entire design. What I am going to do is another video to compare how long it takes to do the exact same design on the M1, S1, and P2, so that if you're still in the buying phase, you can decide what is best for you. All right. That is all done. You can see the laser stays right there. I would suggest specifically with wood that you take just a second and let the filter do its job to pull as much smoke out as possible. I am going to come around and turn off the filter before I open this up and we take a look. All right, so this did a beautiful job on our butterfly. So what you can see is we have the engraving. It's slightly dipped down. We've got the score line here, and then obviously the cut line. And look at this, almost no charring. Now, I will say you almost always need to come in and clean this up. One thing you don't want to do is it gets on your finger. So be very careful with how you handle it. But this came out really well, and I would love for you guys to try something very similar for your first project. I know you want to jump in, but I say this with all of my cutting machines, lasers, and printers. Trying something that's beginner level like this is really going to help you understand and learn the process so that you can understand and figure out how to troubleshoot when you need to. All right, guys, that's it. Congratulations. You finished your first project and hopefully it was a success. Now you are ready to jump in and try things other than wood, try things different sizes, different materials. If you're looking for tutorials on how to use Creative Space, I've got lots of them on my YouTube channel in the how-to sections and playlists. If you're looking for one-on-one help with your laser, I also offer that through Silhouette U, and you're welcome to try a 7-day free trial. So any links that you're interested in as far as best bundles, where to get Air Assist, where to get the Honeycomb Tray or a filter, I've got all of that stuff in the description below. All right, guys, see you soon.